Winter doesn't have to mean packing it in. With the right gear, you can turn freezing nights into some of the best camping of the year. Warm, comfortable, and way off the beaten path.
In this video, I'm going to be testing out the all-new HCalory TB Max diesel heater. I'm going to do an unboxing, do a driveway setup, and just a quick initial run of it, and then I'm actually going to take it out on an overlanding trip and really put it through its paces. I've been running this HCalory TB2 diesel heater since last winter, and I love this thing. This thing performed flawlessly. But where this thing falls short, this new diesel heater really shines. Before we get into all the details, let's see what comes with the TB Max. When you open up the box, the first thing you're going to see is the TB Max diesel heater. This thing has new integrated handles and a more compact design, which really makes moving it around a lot easier. The rest of the accessories are things that you're going to expect that come with this diesel heater. You're going to have the AC power supply. You're going to have a cord for hooking this up to DC power, which I'd recommend getting rid of the ring terminals and hooking up a more traditional DC plug. You're obviously going to have your exhaust hose and muffler. This is pretty standard on most diesel heaters. All the necessary clamps. Something that HCalory always provides with their diesel heaters is a 3.5-inch vent hose. It's about 1 foot in length, and it comes with a diffuser on the end. This might be handy if you're using it inside of a garage or something. And then something else that comes with this is different ways that you can actually attach feet to this. They have these brackets that allow you to probably mount this down to something more permanently. Or they also have these rubber feet that just allow it to sit firmly on whatever surface you end up using. So getting back to my initial reaction to this overall build quality, this thing is wrapped in sheet metal combined with some what I would say is pretty durable plastic. It just has a nice sturdy feel to it. Even the footprint of it, it has a wider base to it. It's not as tall like the TB2 diesel heater. You know, although I felt the TB2 was something that was, you know, pretty sturdy, because of the height of it, if you knocked into it, it'd be more prone to tipping over. I don't feel like this is going to have the same issue. Another great feature that I'm excited about is this has a lot longer run time. It has a 7.5 liter tank inside of it instead of the 5 liter tank that's in the TB2. That's about 2 gallons of fuel. So think of that as almost about a half a gallon more fuel than the previous year's model. But the next two features, or what I would call upgrades, are what I'm most excited about. I've taken my TB2 diesel heater into a pretty significant snowstorm, and the thing performed flawlessly. But that's not what it's built for. One of the biggest features, and one that's going to set this apart from other diesel heaters, something I'm the most excited about, this has a rain and snow resistant construction. What HCalory is saying is equivalent to an IPX4 rating. Now obviously you can't just go drop this thing in a lake, but because of the durable construction, it is going to hold up in rain and snow. And that second big upgrade that I was talking about is this little thing. So this is their all new and improved remote control. Now the TB2 diesel heater also came with a pretty primitive remote. It allowed you to control the temperature of the diesel heater up or down, say from the comfort of your rooftop tent. But what this thing has built into it gives you a lot more functionality. So just starting with the basics, this thing has a digital screen built into it, so you can actually see what temperature it is inside the tent. It also has a built-in CO2 monitor, so I think that's a nice feature. I have a portable one that I bring with me as well. That's something that I carried with the TB2 diesel heater, but now this thing is built right in. It also has a USB-C charger on it, so no batteries. But the main feature of this remote control is the fact that it now has temperature sensing. So instead of just the levels of 1 through 10, you can actually set the temperature, say to 68 degrees, and the heater will keep it consistent at 68 for the entire evening or however long you're heating your tent. So that's just a quick overview of some of the major upgrades on this TB Max diesel heater. Next, we're going to take it outside, fill it full of some fuel, hook it up to some power, run through all the settings, maybe even splash it with some water. See how this thing really performs before taking it out on the road. We're going to head to Wyoming, in and around the Bighorn Mountains, and we will really give this thing a proper test over a couple days. Well, I've had this thing up and running for about 20 minutes now. This thing was super simple to set up. I just added a little bit of fuel to it, plugged it into my EcoFlow Delta 3 Plus, and this thing fired right up. I just primed it for about 3 seconds. I held the up and down arrow to get the fuel pump primed and then hit the start button. And within a couple seconds, I could feel air coming out of it. And about 3 minutes in, this thing was blowing hot air. I would say it takes about 3 to 3.5 minutes for this thing to fully ramp up. I also did a shutdown test on this as well. The shutdown takes about 5.5 minutes. So like most diesel heaters, you can't just unplug it from its power source to turn it off. You have to press the off button and then let it cycle down and go through its shut off process. This one, I timed it. It was about 5.5 minutes before it completely stopped pulling watts from the EcoFlow. And at 5 minutes, I couldn't feel air coming out of here anymore. So I think it's just also a cool down process that it goes through. As far as how many watts this thing pulls, so on startup, for the first about minute, it pulls about 120 watts, between 110 and 120 watts. But that lasts for a very short period of time. Once the fuel pump kicks on, then you can see the watts start to drop. And then, you know, I started it at level 10. At level 10, it dropped back between 35 and 50 watts. It stays kind of in that 35 watt range, and then every once in a while it spikes up to 50, but it drops right back to 35. At a lower setting, I can hear the fuel pump. It's really quiet though. I'm not gonna be able to hear that from inside my rooftop tent. Maybe a slight little howl from the air coming through the dryer vent hose that I'll be hooking up, but I'm not concerned about the noise of this thing. I notice at higher settings, I can't hear the fuel pump at all. So that is a really nice plus for this diesel heater. Well, we just had some showers move through the area just before I started filming this, and I'm hoping they come back. But I'm gonna give it 10, 15 minutes. If they don't come back, I'm gonna go ahead and get my garden hose and simulate a rain shower with this, just to demonstrate the all-weather capability of this diesel heater. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and set up the actual HCalory app for this diesel heater so I can control all the functionality right from my phone. Turning the settings up and down, setting the altitude, switching it from, you know, running off temperature or running off the different levels, 1 through 10. So what you're seeing here on the screen, this is actually my TB2 diesel heater. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this new diesel heater, and instantly this one pops up, the 5153. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that. Just like that, the thing connected, it can tell that it's already running. I have it set to level 4. That was instant, like that was less than a second. So from here, I can change settings up and down. I'm gonna turn it down so you can hear me. Mode change, this is where you can change it from actual 1 through 10 levels to the temperature. So now that I have it set to 61 degrees, it's about 75 degrees outside right now. So this actually should turn off the diesel heater. I have the thermometer right here, the temperature gauge on this remote control, and this says 78 degrees. So I guess it's 78 degrees out today. We're having some unseasonably warm weather here in Minnesota in mid-October. But where we're taking this thing next week, we're gonna get down into the low 30s. So we'll really get a proper test out of this thing here in a couple days. So a couple other things you can do here. You can set it to altitude adjustment. You're seeing what altitude you're actually at, what the body temperature of this thing is, what the outdoor temperature is, what power source it's running off of, which is 12 volt. Oh, and it looks like we have a little bit of a rain shower starting. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the app portion of this video, since that kind of walks us through everything. And we're gonna set this thing out in the weather and see how well it holds up. Well, the rain never amounted to anything, so I decided to take matters into my own hands. This is a pretty good simulation of a rainstorm though. So I've had the hose on this for about 10 minutes now. We're gonna give it another 5 minutes, then I'm gonna go ahead and open up the cover and see if the control panel has any moisture in it whatsoever. All right, this thing is still running at max. Hasn't missed a beat, opening this thing up. The interior, other than a couple drops that fell in when I opened the lid, is completely dry. So after 15 minutes of some decent rain, This thing is performing flawlessly and holding up to what they're saying about kind of an all-weather design. All right, weather test complete. I'm impressed with this little heater. It has done everything that HCalory said it was gonna do. So I'm gonna go ahead, get this thing packed up and ready for the trip.
After a few hours on the highway, I found some great trails cutting through the grasslands. Wide open, quiet, and a little rough in spots. The air is cooler out here, and you can feel the season starting to turn. Days stay warm, but once the sun dips, the temps drop fast. Perfect weather for this heater's first real test. By the time I pull into camp, the light's already fading. Setup takes just a few minutes. Power cord, exhaust, vent hose, and it's ready to run. That's what I like about this setup. It's quick, compact, and doesn't get in the way of the trip. Once the sun starts to go down, the temps drop fast, but inside it's warm, steady, and quiet. Perfect way to end the day. The first night was uneventful. The heater performed just like it should. Overnight temps dropped into the mid-30s, but inside the tent it stayed warm the whole time. Breaking this heater down is just as quick as setting it up. The accessories packed neatly into my drawer system, clean, organized, and ready for the next stop. Now it's time to hit the trail and head west into Wyoming, where the real test begins. Below freezing temps and high altitude. Crossing into Wyoming, the mountains started to rise in the distance. It doesn't take long before the trails get rough. Mud, ruts, and patches of snow the higher we climb. By the time we reach camp, we're sitting at 8,500 feet, and temps are already in the mid-30s. The heater's already up and running by sundown, keeping the tent warm as the cold moves in. Inside I've got the thermostat set to 67 degrees, and it held that temperature all night, even with the temps outside dropping below freezing. The built-in thermostat makes it easy to dial in the heat, and the CO sensor gives some peace of mind. At this elevation, the air is thin and cold, but the heater never missed a beat. Power draw stayed low, right around 20 watts, which means with the EcoFlow Delta 3 Plus, I could easily run it for more than a full day. High up in the Bighorns, the TV Max did exactly what it was built to do. Steady heat, simple setup, and solid performance in real cold conditions. Big thanks to HCalory for sending this heater out for review. You'll find my affiliate link and discount code in the description below. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.